Hello guys, welcome to CoderCrab. So today we'll see the architecture and flow diagram flow of Angular. So this is quite controversial topic that we have in Angular. This architecture of any of the framework that today we are using in front end or back end or database design or anywhere we are using is something which we should know for interview perspective, for uh, for the understanding of a complete project. Otherwise, if we will not understand the architecture of this Angular or any of the frameworks, it will be very difficult for us to progress with the coding and all, right? So let's start with that. Having said that, we'll see the basic overview of the Angular application today. Okay, so if you will see the if I'll consider this orange uh, army as the user, so they are seeing your index.html only. So if they're seeing your index.html, then how we are having so many things running behind the scene, right? That's why Angular is called single page application, because there's only one index.html that is available. Okay, and the whole thing is getting injected to the index.html. Okay, so the first thing that comes into picture is CLI adds the polyfill, runtime, styles, vendor, and men. These are the JS files, okay, JavaScript files that CLI is going to add it. Okay, so we'll see how it is happening in the code. Let's see that first. Okay, so I have a small sample project here. Let's open the index.html. So if you'll see, the index.html is having one app root tag, right? So this tag is basically what it is doing. It is rendering the whole project. Okay, so before that, CLI is adding to the to this page some dynamic JavaScript files. Okay, so let's see it in action. I'll do the ng-serve and I'll just open Chrome. It's still building it. Let's wait for that. Okay, it's done. So you can see something came, right? So we have a very simple page. Hello, Coder Crab. Click me. I'll click it. Something will happen. Yeah, something is happening. Okay. So this is a very simple page that is available here. Okay. So in this page, if I'll show you the this part, you'll see these are the 5 JavaScript files. Those are being injected by CLI. Okay. So these Java among these JavaScript file, you can see one main.js file. Okay, that is the key. Okay, so if I'll go back here, we'll see main.ts file is the first one. So as we know, Angular is built completely in HTML, TypeScript, and CSS. Okay, so CSS or SCSS or SASS, whichever is your choice. Okay, so now let's divide this thing to this complete architecture to two part. One is we'll see the code flow, how it binds the application, and second we'll see how actually it works for a complex application. Okay, so the first thing first, we'll see that main.ts, what it is doing. Main.ts would be having one bootstrap of one module. Okay, so that means one module would be connected, would be bootstrapped by main.ts into the index. Okay, so and again this app.module, this app module would be bootstrapping app components. Okay, so there are two stages now. Okay, one is main.ts would be having some bootstrap code. Okay, so let's open the main.ts first. You will see main.ts is bootstrapping the module. Which module? App module. So this is our root module. So app module is the root module of the whole application now. Okay, so if I'll come here inside the app, we'll see app module. Okay, this is the first step. Now if I'll go inside this app module, I'll see there is another bootstrap of app component is happening. Okay, so the app module is nothing but the Angular module, which is the root module, and it is bootstrapping the app component. Okay, so this app component is having some router outlet, and it is having some HTML code, and it is also having the TS files and all those things, right? So this app component is being bootstrapped by the app module to what? To the main.ts. Now main.ts, so if we will see this diagram over here, so it's simply saying main.ts gets this and app.module gets this, and the whole thing is again injected to the app root of the index.html. So we are seeing in this pattern, okay, this is the way we are seeing the complete project in ours. So this is one part, okay. So this is the flow diagram of it. So let's see the next one. Okay, so it's a little complex one. Okay, so this is how in the real world how it works. Okay, so before going to this one, let me explain in a simpler way. So if you have an Angular project, right, Angular CLI, if you created an Angular CLI project, so the base thing you will find is one module. Okay, one module called the root module. Okay, so this is the root module. Okay, so this root module can have multiple feature modules. So this is feature 1, feature 2, okay, this is feature 3. Okay, so these are all individual modules. Okay, these are all individual modules. Okay, again these modules are having its own components. Component 1, component 2, component 3, component 1, component 2, component 3, component 1, component 2, component 3, component 4, and n number of components. Okay, and here we have one app component connected. Now this component one, we have a service. Now we'll create a service. So this particular service can be integrated with this component. Again, integrated can be integrated with this component, and also be integrated with this component. Again, some other service can be integrated with this component. So it can be like this. So if we'll understand this structure, that means there can be multiple modules. Okay, individual modules, all these individual modules are feature modules, and these feature modules are connected to a root module. Okay, and these particular feature modules can have multiple component inside it, that means connected to it. Okay, and these components can be connected to different services and pulling data from different services through dependency injection. So we are injecting outside services through services to the outside APIs through the services, and component is pulling the data. Okay, so component is that we'll see again next in the. Okay, so as we saw here, that there are multiple modules available, and inside that we have connected these modules to different components. Now these components are pulling data from different services, and we are building a big application. Okay, so now let's understand this flow inside a flow diagram. Then we'll come back to the real structure. Okay, so in this flow diagram, the right one, which we are getting from the Angular.io website itself, and the one, let's simplify it here. Okay, so as we discussed that we are starting from main.ts, right? So the as we saw, the main.ts is bootstrapping the app module, right? Or Angular module or ng module, whatever you can say, or root module, whatever you can say. Okay, so this module is the root module. Okay, so this module may have multiple modules along with it. Okay, so now these individual modules or the root module itself is having one component view, right? And what does it contains? That component view will be having one component.ts file and one component.css, one component.spec, one.ts, and one component.html. So the spec and CSS is for style sheet, spec is for your testing, so unit testing. So let's leave it aside. These two files, okay? One is component.ts and one is component.html. So the component.html is nothing but a template which is having plain HTML, okay? And component.ts is having TypeScript, okay? So this component.ts file will will call the services, okay? This component.ts file will call the services and uh, get the data from external APIs through the injectors, okay? That is one thing. Then this component.ts file will manipulate that data and send to the HTML. Then HTML will view to the give this that to the viewer, okay? Give the view to the users, okay? Now one user wants to interact, okay? So component.ts is giving data to template or view, HTML view, okay? Now user want to click on a button, okay? So they what they will do, once they will click on a button, the event binding will take place, and again it will come to the TS, and again manipulation will happen, okay? Again it will be through the injectors, it will pull some other service and do the task, right? So when component.ts file gives data to template, we use property binding. So there is a concept called interpolation, and further we'll see those things, okay? And when template gives data to component, we do event binding, okay? So now this is the particular process which is happening, okay? So how now next thing is this dependency injection, that how it happens. So we have particularly different APIs and all we have from the backend, okay? So the component will ask the injectors, okay, so do we have this service instance? Then injectors will check in the providers whether we have a blueprint for this or not. If we have a blueprint, it will instantiate and give it to the component, okay? So this is the process, okay? So to understand the whole process, so we need to go through individuals, okay? So let's see how really this module thing works, okay? How different multiple modules which we saw in the raw structure, right? How the modules, different modules will be binding. So I'll just give an example, okay? I'll just give an example first, then we'll go for further analysis with the real real project. Will involve this in a real simple project and create a simple page where we'll be using multiple modules, and we'll see further one module would be communicating with the with another with another service, and the service will be pulling data from a backend API, and the injector concept we'll see, dependency injection we'll see there also, okay? So let's go to the sketch and see once, okay? So let me clean this, okay? So I'll take an example as initially we have nothing but one in a raw structure. If we'll create a simple project, we'll get an app component, right? One app folder would be there. Inside that you will see one app component .ts and one app html, app component .html, html. One, if you have started routing, you will see app routing module, routing module, and one app module, okay? So this app module is the root module for us, root module, okay? So what we will do, we will create, so we have ng commands, ng generate module, so we'll create one, let's say one dashboard module. Let's say we are designing one analytics application and we have a dashboard module, okay? So we'll create one dashboard module, and we will create one admin module, okay? And then we will create one user module. Let's say we are having these three modules, okay? So these three modules would be connected to this root module. Okay, so now I'll just as uh, to utilize this space, I'll just use these uh, short names. Okay, so for this dashboard module I use DM, admin module I will AM and UM for this. Okay, so let's start this. Okay, so I'll just clean this. So we have the root module. Inside that now we have a dashboard module, we have a admin module, and we have one user module. Okay, now inside dashboard, okay, inside dashboard folder we'll just be creating one module, would be already there, dashboard module.ts. Inside that we'll be creating one component called, let's say, dashboard graph. Let's say I have created one graph component, one table component, okay, and one list view component. Let's say I have three components created inside this dashboard module. So these three components are connected to this dashboard module. It is not, these three components are not connected to the root module. These three components are connected to the dashboard module. Similarly, in admin, I created the profile, one profile component, and one, let's say, admin login component. Okay. Similarly, for user, I have created one profile component, user profile, and one login component. Okay, so we have around two components in module, and in this module is having three components. So these individual components, where are they connected? Individual modules, they are connected. Okay, so let's say this two component is now, we have not been to services yet. Okay, let's keep services apart from it. Let's understand the uh, design part first, then we'll pull the data later. Okay, so now let's say I have this, I have this uh, this particular dashboard module which is connected to the root module. So what I have to do now, I have to declare, sorry, I have to import. Okay, I have to import this particular module, where I have to import this particular module, dashboard module, inside the root module. Otherwise the root module would not understand that, would not know. So if I'll show you that part, let's say this is app module. So if you'll see, the dashboard module is being imported here. Okay, so I have created a small structure here. I'll show you guys after this explanation. We'll go through this step by step so that it will be easier for everybody. Okay, so let's say we are now understanding the module part. Later we'll connect a simple service, free service we'll consume, and we'll get the service and show some data to it. Okay, so uh, this then we will understand the architecture clearly. Okay, how these things are working, right? So let's see. So now when I say this dashboard module is somewhere. Okay, let's understand that. We'll create one by one, don't worry about it. Okay, we'll have a stepwise creation. So this dashboard module is something which is we are importing here inside the root module. So app module is our root module. Inside that we are creating the dashboard module. So the same thing. So we are importing the dashboard module. Sorry for that. So what we have done, we have created a dashboard module, and that dashboard module we are importing inside. So the first step that comes into the picture is import feature module. So dashboard module is a feature module. Import feature module inside root module. So import the feature module inside the root module. That is our first step. Okay. Second step is, once you import the feature module inside the root module, the root module knows that there is a module called dashboard module, which is a feature module available somewhere. Okay, in the path, some path. Okay, so now as it knows it, so whatever connected to the dashboard module, okay, to the feature module, or the dashboard module is a feature module, right? So this is a feature module, this is a feature module. So whatever available with the dashboard module would be the root module would be knowing it. How? We need to export. Okay, so in dashboard module we need to export the component. Clear? So we need to import the feature module in root module. That is the first step. Okay, second step, we need to export the, or you can say first we need to export the component in the feature module, then we need to import the feature module in the root module. Okay, these are the very crucial step, otherwise you will get a lot of errors. Okay, so let's see that. So this is the dashboard module we have imported here. So if we'll go inside the dashboard module, if I'll open it and go inside the dashboard module, I will see dashboard component is being exported. Okay, so I cannot directly use it inside this. If I'll try to use it, it won't be, I won't be able to do that because it is not exported. Only dashboard component is exported. So this inner component, outer component are being used inside the dashboard component. So that I'll say later. Okay, so if we'll come to the structure, let's clean it and start a small fresh thing. Okay, so this is, let's say, root module. I'm getting a root module rm. Okay, that means your app dot module dot ts. This is a root module. Okay, so don't get confused with route and root module. So root module is the base module. You can say that is, it is root module, ROOT, root module. So app module dot ts is the root module. Okay, so it is having three following modules. Okay, which, what is dashboard module, then admin module, then user module, right? So use this dashboard module is exporting its component, one of this component. Okay, so if it is exporting the component, whatever is available on whatever component is connected to this root module can access this component. Okay, so if the app component, you can say app component is declared inside root module, so this app component can access this component. Okay, and whatever is exported here, let's say another component is exported, this can also be accessed here. Another component here, this is also exported, this can also be accessed here. That I'll show you. Okay, so we'll have here, if we'll see in app module.ts, we have one home component and one app component declared, right? So these two components are connected with root module. So if I'll go inside the home component, okay, you can see inside that I am accessing app hyphen dashboard, right? So what is app hyphen dashboard tag? If we'll go inside the dashboard component .ts, you will see, sorry, yes, this one, you will see selector is app dashboard. That means whatever HTML is available here, whatever HTML is available here is being exposed via that tag. Okay, so it is being exported via this tag. Okay, selector means HTML selector. Okay, via this tag to whom? To the components of root module, to the components of the root module. Okay, so whatever components are declared here will be able to access to the exported components of these modules. Pretty clear? Okay, so okay, so this is how we do this. Okay, okay, so now let's create a diagram from our understanding. Okay, so as I showed that, okay, so let's draw this way. Okay, so let's say let's see first part. First part is our, this is our main.ts. Okay, let's say main. This is main.ts file which is there, and this main.ts file is searching for the root module. So let's say this is our root module. As I said, I'll be using short names RM. This is our root module. So this root module again calling feature module. This is the first feature module for us. It is dashboard. Okay, dashboard module. Then it is having another feature module called admin module. It is having another feature module called user module. Okay, so these dashboard model is connected to something called graph component. Graph, table, and list. These three components are connected to this. Admin module is connected to, let's say, one profile component, one login component, and user module is also connected to profile component, login component. So this is another layer. Okay, so one more layer which is there is service layer. Okay, so this is a service layer, let's say. So inside service layer we have profile service. So let's say we have a profile service, we have a login service. Okay, and we have a let's say dashboard data service. Okay, we have a dashboard data service, dashboard data service. Okay, so we have these three services. So these three services are calling whom? Three different APIs. So this is backend. Let's say it is designed in Spring Boot Java, or it is designed in C# entity model or MVC or whatever it is, Python, whatever being used in backend, and we have a API, or Node.js also can also be. So it is having API. These APIs are there. So we are calling these services are calling these APIs, and getting the getting the data, and this data are getting filtered by something called model interface or model classes. Okay, we can use both models, we can say. So these are small models available which are validating the data, like whether this should be a string value, this should be a boolean value, this particular value should be a number value, this kind of things we are doing through the models. It is optional, it is not a concept of Angular, it is a concept of TypeScript. So it is being, but it's very good to have it, so that your data will be filtered and wrong data should not be coming. So according to model we are getting the data checked, and after checking we are injecting this data to the components. Okay, so this login service can also be used by this login service can also be used by this, profile service being used by this, profile service being used by this is being used by this one. So this is the whole structure of the, or architecture of the Angular now. So gradually once we'll go for, so to understand, as I have shown these parts very little in the code structure, we'll see one by one in the in this series, one by one. Like we'll go through the module concept, we'll go through the router concept, we'll go through the interpolation, data binding, these concepts slowly. Okay, so one more thing that is left is, so this is clear, this is one thing that is done. Now next thing is the view which user is seeing, right? So in the graph, as we saw, so I'll just open that one. As we saw this particular flow diagram, okay, so we are clear now how main.ts is calling the module, and module in here also you can see how main.ts is calling the modules, and these are the modules, right? Modules, and modules are calling the components. Now component, how component will interact with each other, right? That we need to see. So, and this also we saw services, and services are giving the components. Okay, so now how components will talk to each other. So this is very much essential concept of this. So if we'll go back to this one, so let's say, so now so we'll see in when we'll write a command called ng generate component some xyz, what happens, right? It will create one component. So there would be mostly four files. One is css, one is spec dot ts, one is dot ts, one is dot html. Okay, so this spec.ts is for testing, unit testing. The css is for style set, we know this, so there is nothing new in here, so those things we are not going to see. So these are the essential things. These two will collectively being used for the business logic. Okay, so let's see that how to do that. Okay, so one is html, one is dot ts, component.html, component.ts, right? So in case of component .html, we'll have our raw html, like inside we'll have our div element. Inside div, let's say we have one div element, and inside that div we are just putting some input type something, some text field, and we are giving a button. Okay, so we are giving a button. So this, if you will click on this button, some name will be coming to this, right? So if we'll click, so what is click? Click is what in general term in JavaScript? Click is a event. So to pass data from HTML, okay, template to the TS, we use event binding. Okay, then let's say you got some data from the services in the TS file, and you want to pass the data to the HTML template and show that data. So what we'll do? We'll do property binding. Property binding. Okay, there are concepts called interpolations, and uh, there are different concepts of view child, and all those things are there, which are there, input method, output emitters. So those things are there, we'll see one by one, but we'll understand that event binding is required, like on click, uh, or your on key change. Okay, so you are using event binding, and for uh, passing data from TS to HTML, we are using property binding. Okay, so this is also, I can show the event binding, property binding in an example as well. Okay, let's see that here. It's already there, right? So let's go to our app component. So in the app component.html, we are having a small on click event, right? And this message function is available inside the TS file. So here we are calling with this event click event, and it is going and searching here. Okay, so it is going and searching here, and this particular value alert I am in, and this value is getting populated. Okay, so this value is there, you can see this value as null, and here this value nothing, I mean empty, and we are putting some, I am sending the data. So if you will see it in action, I can just start ng serve. Okay, localhost 4200, right? Okay, it is generating, it will take some time. Okay, so now if we'll see, if I click on click me, this is coming to there. Okay, and it is alerting this one, and then what will happen? Okay, you can see this came, right? Okay, I can show you one more time. It is not there, nothing is there. If I'll click it, I'm sending data to template. So this data was null initially, so this data is having some value, that value is getting populated here. So you can see this is interpolation, so you can see this data here, right? So this is event binding. You are clicking on something, and the message is getting called, message function is getting called. Okay, if you want to pass some values, let's say I want to pass some values called something like, so let's say I'm just passing my name, and here in this what I'll do is I'll get a variable called name and string. Okay, and this value I'll just put. Okay, so now let's see this. If I click on this, you can see as it is alert, then you can see this name, right? So template has sent this data to this template has sent this data to TS file, and this TS file has uh, appended with some other data, some data. Let's say this data is coming from other API, and it is put something there, put some operations, business logic, some manipulation it is doing, and it is sending back the data to the HTML. So this part which you are doing is property binding, and this part which you are doing is event binding. Okay, hope that's clear. If you have any question, you can write comments on this video.